Good morning. Thank you all for being here so early. Yeah, this talk was inspired, or actually I wouldn't be here if I wouldn't have hung out at the Matrix tent at the camp a couple of weeks ago. So thank you for whoever motivated me to give the talk. It wasn't you? Yeah? Okay. No, I think, yeah, it was Ben. Yes. So thank you. And it's going to be more of an anecdote than like an actual talk. I hope that's fine. Also, I moved yesterday and I had 10,000 things to do, so this might be more improvised than you would expect. But I hope it's still going to be interesting to you to find out what problems, challenges, and maybe funny things can happen when you try to move an entire organization's communication from one platform to another, while also being an extremely open organization that doesn't really force anybody to use one particular tool. But yeah, let's go into the details a little bit later. First, maybe a brief introduction about myself. Okay, then maybe like this. Yeah, I work at the Ethereum Foundation. My name is Franziska. I've been there since March 2020. I do many things there that are hard to describe in a couple of sentences, but basically joined there in 2020 to contribute to the Solidity team, and this is also what I've been doing most of my time there, building up their communication infrastructure, bridging between the compiler team and the users, etc. But then also eventually, roughly 1 year ago, started to do more things for the organization as a whole, especially supporting development teams with any kinds of organizational needs that they might have. Yeah, in the Ethereum Foundation, we also have different client teams, tooling teams, etc. So yeah, a couple of different development teams that require help because the Ethereum Foundation is a rather flat organization. We have roughly 200 to 250, depending on how you count, contributors. And we have almost no hierarchy, so that means there is sometimes maybe a need here or there to do some cross-org facilitation, etc., because we have no middle management or other cross-functions that you would expect in a normal organization at that stage. So I am, helping the organization run smoothly, and maybe this is also why I felt the need to help them introduce the Matrix, but more about that later. In my free time, I also contribute to the Department of Decentralization. That's a non-profit organization which organizes a couple of events around education. We host East Berlin, a hackathon. We also just recently, last week, organized our first protocol work, which was an ecosystem gathering for different distributed ecosystems and infrastructure, where we talked all things technical, and we also organized GirlyCon a couple of years ago. And there we also try to really not use any proprietary software, so we don't even, except for, I think, the actual conference slides, use Google or anything, and our stack there was Pretalks, Pretix, CryptPad, and Matrix. For this community, it's much easier for us to use Matrix because we just basically force the people to use Matrix. So there's no Telegram info channel, or even the volunteers need to coordinate on Matrix for us. So that basically makes it easier in a sense to really convince people to move there. And generally, I am interested and enthusiastic about free open source software and privacy. A couple of disclaimers. I am not a developer. I am not part of our DevOps team, which was ultimately the team that brought this server up to life, I think together with Jan. And I was not involved in the configuration part of this server. So whatever I say here, and maybe if I don't have the right technical information, I'm sorry. And also all opinions are my own. And I was also not officially tasked to introduce this to the EF. This was more of a, I don't know, hobby, passion, whatever thing driving this in the back. And last but not least, of course, I will share a couple of funny screenshots of our Discord communications or other things that I also, of course, anonymized. But it's really not meant to blame any particular person or anything, but just to give you insights on how hard it can be to introduce something new when it's nobody's first priority to do so. Okay, so what do you need to do in order to get your organization, in our case, which currently runs on Discord, to move to another server or to another service, in this case, Matrix? We have to travel a little bit in time. It all started, or maybe not even started, but the discussion came up again in 2021 in the EF Discord Tech Talk channel, where a colleague of mine said that he had downloaded recently all the data that Discord collects about you and CC'd me in there because we had several discussions about already using other communication tools that might be better than Discord for our organization. And yeah, again, of course, I took the initiative to share with everybody that, yes, they store everything and they even also have DMs unencrypted. So that's not great. And we thought maybe this could be our chance to kick off a little working group around what would it take for us to move to a different tool and what are our requirements. Because of course, as soon as you have an organization that runs and is big, you don't want to just use a random tool that maybe doesn't do the job properly, right? So the first step, in my opinion, were to do a list of required features or some sort of structured assessment. What do we need? And maybe which encrypted open source tool can do the job for us. And luckily, a couple of people were interested in this, and the conversation kept going in this Tech Talk channel. And we were discussing over a couple of different options that we would have on the table between Rocket Chat and Matrix, and I think MetaMost, or I don't know what other things were also presented there. But I think it was also ultimately Ligi who said, Matrix works, why not try to use Matrix? And we said, okay, let's start a little working group around that and let's try to push this initiative forward. Maybe we can set up a test environment in which we really try to replicate all of the functionality and everything that the EF Discord server currently has and figure out, is there anything missing for us? And yeah, I also, of course, also tried to shill Matrix a little bit because there are lots of people who were not happy about this direction in the EF, who said, Discord is great and I have so many other Discord servers as well, and also I used Riot in 2015 and it sucked so bad. So yeah, we really had to make people curious again to try it out and to really convince them that things have changed for the better. And yeah, so basically we decided, let's do it. Let's do a little free open source software alliance and try out Matrix, and let's see where this goes. So then there was the next step, an issue in our DevOps repository, where we said, okay, we need a Matrix server, and there was only one problem, and the problem was, if you look back at the issue, this is non-urgent. Remember, this was 2021. So yeah, what was initiated then was basically this multi-year long process of chasing DevOps. Everybody who has interacted with a DevOps team before, or maybe is on a DevOps team, please don't kill me. Of course, they have lots of things to do, so I don't blame them specifically. It was not marked as their priority, right? So it's literally not their fault. But yeah, it became kind of my task to bump and bump and bump this issue. I just copied a couple of these things because they were really so ironic. So it was already in progress, moved back to to-do until after DevConnect in 2022. I'm like, it is after Dev Connect now. Can we move it back into in progress? And yeah, basically continued to have these discussions here. My role mainly being, what is missing? How can I help? Is there anything I can do from my side? Can I maybe create a list of things that are still missing here? And then ultimately, I think, when was it, August 30th, 2022, I wrote, hey, all, sorry to be pushing this again, but I really don't think this item is low priority anymore. In the meantime, we also had discussions in other chats around, I don't know, Discord fucking up. And I mean, I don't think I need to list reasons here why it's not good to have all of your company communications in a tool that can literally shut you down in the next second, and then basically all of your everything is gone, right? So I said, I don't think it's low priority anymore. Let's please get this done. Yeah, and then again, in March, I said, okay, so what's the timeline? What are the open issues? Oh, by this time, we had already set up the server, but it was only for DevOps and I and a couple of other people who were lurking around there and trying out things. And yeah, I felt the need to, again, be a bit pushy on, like, what are the missing steps to make this happen? By this time, I think we had decided that we will not move communications as a whole, but we will bridge our Discord server with all important rooms to a Matrix server, which will have the exact same strategy, so which will really mirror in a space with subspaces our structure from the Discord, so that people really feel there is the same experience on the Matrix side, or almost the same as on the Discord side, and then they can just use whatever end of the bridge they like, and hopefully it will be so frictionless that nobody will even realize that there is a bridge between those two. Of course, for us, like more hardliners, this was a compromise, because then all the encryption features, etc., you basically don't have, because you bridge everything to Discord again. But at least we were saved against a couple of points, mainly being data loss. Also, people who didn't want to use proprietary software like Discord wouldn't be forced to use it anymore. You could also, and our vision was basically that step by step we could move towards Matrix, hopefully convincing people that this UX is actually better than it used to be in 2015. And so this was agreed on as the gradual transition. Yeah, knock knock, it's Q3 now in July. What's happening? Are there any blockers from our side? And then eventually in July I said, okay, I will now just define a date. Nobody's defining a date, I will just do it now. So I said, what about August 1st? Maybe we can get this done. Was also awkward for me because, again, I didn't have the official mandate here, but I felt like eventually somebody needs to do this. So I did it. Yeah, and then we came up with a matrix guide. So we said, okay, what is still missing? Definitely some sort of guide. Yeah, so a description, how does the bridging work? If you want to get set up on the matrix side of things, what do you need to do? And then also for people who wanted to dig deeper, why matrix? And an FAQ section, which would also outline, should I use Discord or matrix? Why do we have both, etc., etc. And that matrix guide was done by DevOps and I in a collaboration, and I think it's actually a really nice guide that came out of it. And yeah, then basically our DevOps said, once the matrix guide is done, I will make an announcement on Discord. And then there it was on August 4th, so only 3 days delayed to my date, but roughly 2 years, or no more than 2 years after we started discussing this. There it was, the matrix server and our EF space, which was mirroring the whole experience from our Discord server. Yeah, and we listed the guide, and we also said how to join. So that was great. And since then, at least people who want to only use Matrix, they can do so. So I really, for example, reduced my Discord usage to, I think, opening it once per day, because I'm still in some sort of a support function. If people write me there or whatever, we will come to pain points later. But at least I don't have to have it open in the back anymore. Step number 2, make Matrix feel like home. I already mentioned this before, but we really try to come up with an experience and with a feeling that people feel like, okay, I know this, I know the structure, I know these rooms, I know where I am, and also to tackle a couple of known UX problems that you have with Matrix if you have a lot of rooms. So I worked together with our designer, Tomo, and he came up with a really nice, I think this is not even the final version of the system, but he came up with a nice icon design system that basically you would know in which subspace you are by the icon and in which space you are by the color, or yeah, I don't know, basically defined a couple of criteria here, and that would help you to know which room it is without always reading the room names. Of course, we also tried to structure the room names with prefixes so that if people sort them by alphabet or so, they don't have a super cluttered home space experience. And this is how it currently looks like, and I think it looks very cute. We have the Ethereum Foundation basically main space, and then in there we currently have like 2 subspaces, Matrix only and Discord bridges. In Matrix only we currently have Matrix specific feedback, but of course we are basically open to adding more channels as people want more channels that are not bridged to Discord. And then basically everything below Discord bridges is replicating our Discord server. And then it's again subdivided into spaces, exactly how we have these little sub sections in our Discord server. So internal, fun, operations, teams, regional, etc. And I think that works fairly well, and at least for my experience, I didn't have any issues with it so far. And then step number 3, convince all your colleagues to switch from Discord and Matrix to Matrix. This is definitely the hardest part of all the 3 of them, even though DevOps took a long time and making it usable is also a bit difficult, but this one is the hardest. How to make people move to a new tool. Yeah, as I mentioned, I think in the beginning, teams at the EF can choose freely what tools they want to work with, especially within their team, including the communication tools, right? So the only basically one home that we have for all of the EF is email. Everybody has an ethereum.org email, and this EF Discord where people can talk cross-team. And now the EF matrix, obviously. So people who were onboarded to the EF, they know the EF Discord to be this primary tool of communication for cross-team and org-wide topics, and maybe also to reach out to people that are not in your team. So we really had to initiate a mindset shift that now you could do the same things in Matrix as well. Some technical teams luckily were using Matrix before. So, for example, me and the Solidity team, we only use Matrix, and we use Matrix for like as long as I joined, and even before that, because before that they were using Gitter. So, and they were doing all of their daily development coordination, etc., all on Gitter and on Matrix. So for them, this was actually a win-win, because now they didn't have to also have Discord open in the back, but for everybody else, it takes a longer time. So at least some technical teams, they were already really happy about it and on board immediately. But everybody else is new to Matrix and needs to be convinced to do the switch. So basically, and here you see a couple of sections from our Matrix guide, where we really try to structure it in a way that people who are curious can learn more and can also learn how to get started. Yeah, in there we have a couple of sections that are a little bit opinionated, probably to the Matrix side of things, but basically, should I use Matrix or Discord? Why do we have EF Discord and EF Matrix? I think especially in the should I use Matrix or Discord section, again, everybody is free to choose their preferred tools, but I saw it a little bit as our task also to do the educational part, right? So many people were shocked, surprised, didn't know about the fact that, for example, DMs are logged in clear text in Discord. I really hope nobody of them, and maybe also of my friends or acquaintances, were sending, I don't know, passwords or sensitive information over Discord, because literally everything is stored in clear text. It's insane. And there was this funny quote from privacy, so I was trying to collect reasons so that I don't need to write everything myself. Luckily, there are really good posts on why not use Discord as a free open source organization or project from, I don't know, Stallman to I don't know who. There are a couple of really good blog posts about that available. And then also this post in our privacy, where I only copied the summary or the too long didn't read. Discord is a data-hungry company that gives zero shits about your privacy, security, or anonymity. Nothing is safe, everything is logged, and not a single thing is encrypted besides your password. That sounds nice. So yeah, I hope people are reading this and are starting to make the move. And then step 4, alleviate pains and polish the experience further. So in our case, there are currently still a couple of things that I think are suboptimally set up and can probably be tweaked and perfected. The bridge bot, for some reason, sometimes misses messages that are posted in Discord and fails to publish them on the matrix end, which results in conversations that are very one-sided. So one person speaking to themselves, reason unclear. I flagged it to DevOps several times. I think they have increased the frequency of checking or pings now. Hopefully this makes it better. We don't have bridged DMs right now. There is a solution for that. They are currently looking into switching to a different bot service or bridging service, this Matrix Discord, which can then hopefully enable DM bridging as well, which would be great, so that people who really don't want to use Discord anymore, they don't have to fear that they are missing out on DMs. No bridged emoji reactions seems like such a small thing, but honestly, emoji reactions have developed into this, especially when you do like full org communications, into this kind of messaging or it's a good way to get a feel of has your message been read? What were the reactions without people really responding to it? And currently we have a lot of emoji reactions on the Discord side and not so many on the Matrix side. So that's sad, even though it seems like such a small thing. And also, we currently don't have an automated onboarding experience into the EF space. This is something that in the beginning we wanted to have, but it was buggy. And then we said, in favor of launching this thing now, we will not have it and then look back at what is not working well. And unfortunately, it hasn't been resolved yet. So the idea being, when you create a new account on the EF server, that you are automatically pre-populated in a couple of into the EF space, first of all, and then maybe also into a couple of relevant rooms, like general, random, I don't know, so that you don't always have to join them all by hand. And especially, I think the experience currently is suboptimal because you log in via currently Google SSO into the server, and then there's nothing. And maybe if you are used to Matrix, that's okay, but especially for our colleagues that we try to convince to switch there, it's not a nice feeling. And then currently you need to be added manually or invited manually into the EF space, which is something that I think can be optimized, and we're working on it. There are, of course, solutions out there. I think Parity, for example, has this Matrix admin bot, which is free software, which we could probably use. Yeah, this is not a new thing for you guys, I think, but encryption is difficult for newbies. Could not decrypt message. I got so many screenshots of people not being able to read anything, not being able to log in anymore, not knowing the concept of sessions and why is the one session verified and the other not. So it is difficult, and I think it's this chicken and egg problem, because we want encryption, and we want the encryption to be, of course, managed by the user and not by the third party, because then it's not proper encryption. But yes, it's difficult. Notifications are buggy, so sometimes they don't show up, and then also often they just stay and don't go away. And I think that is annoying to a couple of people. and no multi-account support in Element. So you could now join the EF space with your personal Matrix account, then you just get added to or invited to the space, that's fine. But I also kind of like the idea of splitting up my private conversations or my private Matrix business and the work business. So I created another account with the ethereum.org Matrix, and now I have 2 accounts. And currently I'm using this hack that you can of course run 2 Matrix clients. On my Mac that works fine, and on my phone I have Fluffy Chat, which has multi-account support, and for my colleagues I recommend doing that currently on the phone. But of course there's also other hacks. You can also just have 2 different clients for the 2 different accounts, etc. Yeah, and generally this concept of multiple clients, browser versus client, the concept of sessions, I've mentioned it before, and the encryption of the different sessions. I think all of this, we find this cool, right? Oh yeah, I can choose my own client, that's great. But for people who are new to this whole universe, it's very confusing, and we really try to ease the pain, but yeah, if sometimes they don't think, or they think it's embarrassing to ask, right? So they try to figure it out themselves and are confused. So let's look at the current adoption rate of the EF Matrix server compared to Discord. This will be painful, but bear with me. We have roughly 200 people in the EF Discord and roughly 30 people in the EF Matrix. Why? Yeah, so I think firstly this needs time, more people will come, especially people that we onboard now. We can onboard them also directly to Matrix, and I think we should really use this opportunity. Generally, people are afraid of new tools. They have been using Discord for all their time, and they now don't have the time or the nerves or the whatever to switch to another tool. Lots of projects in the blockchain space use Discord. It's really gross, I don't know why, but basically that of course also makes people use Discord for the EF because they already have 123 other Discord servers. What can we do to change this? Yeah, of course, educate on the pros of Matrix and especially on the shortcomings of Discord and other tools, because people really don't know. I think it's sad that most people don't care, but I think as soon as they know, they care more. So it really matters to be that person who is annoying them about how shitty Discord is. Continuously work on improving the UX, and I think this is twofold. So in the EF case, we can still do a lot of things to tweak the experience that are not on Matrix developers or on Element developers, but then also, of course, looking forward to trying out Element X and other things that will hopefully make the experience more seamless. Yeah, be a role model, so really try to be this person who actively moves communication towards Matrix. In our case, I mean, Solidity team was already on Matrix. For my other team, team support, this team that helps all kinds of teams in the EF, we moved all our communications to Matrix, and our team members were all fine with it. That was great, and we had, I think, 2 or 3 people who were new to Matrix, and they now get used to it, and they, again, also tell other people, so has this cascading effect. Yeah, one last point regarding blockchain space and Discord. I made this tweet also a while ago about DAOs. Maybe you know them, decentralized autonomous organizations. I like to call them Discord administered organizations because basically they are all just a Discord server and nothing more. That's annoying, and I think everybody who is involved here, we can make the change. We just have to yeah, lead by example, I guess. And that's what we're trying to do, for example, with the Department of Decentralization. Lastly, learnings and recommendations. I think if you now would do this for your organization, there are a couple of things that you can consider or keep in mind. Ensure that the Matrix server setup is a DevOps priority. If this is somehow possible, maybe talk to the leads or whoever is up in your hierarchy and convince them, and then have them let DevOps know that this is a priority, because then it's probably not going to take 2 years. and also have a person in the DevOps team that is responsible for the Matrix instance moving forward, so that whenever you have problems, there is somebody who can look into it and who has the time allocated for it. Yeah, making people move away from the tools they usually use is hard, and I think nothing really will change this. Bad experiences from the past really stick so much. I've mentioned it. I used Riot 5 years ago. It was so terrible. It was such a bad experience. I'm never trying Matrix again. This is kind of sad because I feel like once you burn the users with this early product, it's really hard for them to take a second try. People don't have the time or the nerves to get used to the new UX and new workflows, so the closer we can make it to whatever they have been using before, the better. And yeah, practice what you preach, try to really onboard new people into the everyday work, go the extra mile and make sure that they are all set up. And yeah, don't get annoyed if they ask you silly questions, but really try to be there and help them. I think that's it. If you have any questions. I don't know if there's time for questions or if you have any. Okay. Should we take this one?
Hi, I was wondering what the notification bugs were that people were hitting, because I don't think we're aware of any at the moment on the core team.
Yeah, I am hitting some myself. So basically, when you have a notification in a room and you click on it, it just doesn't go away. And I'm not sure if this is maybe a problem with threads.
Start notifications, yeah, very aware of those.
Yeah.
But it was like push going missing on mobile.
No.
Okay, yeah, no, that's a very, very painful point, right?
Yeah.
We're trying to fix it.
Okay, great.
Someone else?
Oh, what does the evaluation of the Matrix Discord look like right now? Is that just someone is kind of tentatively offering to transition to that?
What do you mean by evaluation?
You mentioned you were considering this alternative bridge for Discord, which is that other Matrix Discord bridge. So is that something that's being actively considered?
Yes, they already tried. So DevOps already tried to install it, and they ran into some issues, and now they are figuring out what the issue is. But basically, due to the fact that it has DM bridging, we would want to switch there.
Yeah.
Once we resolve the issues.
Cool. That's all.
Do you actually use end-to-end encryption in your bridged rooms right now?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why we have this like encryption space or matrix space. There we use end-to-end encryption, and of course for DMs and for any new rooms. The nice thing also is, of course, this was only the EF space, which now recreates the EF server. But for example, for this team support, we now created our own space on the EF server, which uses end-to-end encryption. But yeah, for the Discord bridges, no.
You showed a FAQ page. Is it available on the web? Or
The
like
one from the
outside of-
Matrix guide?
Yeah.
No.
Would you consider publishing something so that other projects can use the pros and cons?
Yeah, I mean, I would love that. I'm all for transparency. I don't think there's anything sensitive in there, so why not? I would need to check with DevOps if we can do that, maybe replicate it and publish it somewhere.
Yeah, that could be helpful to other communities.
Hello. At the beginning, you mentioned a feature comparison between different tools. That might be interesting about your assessment. Are you willing to share those assessments?
We didn't really end up doing it as structured as I wanted in the beginning. So there's no such matrix or anything.
Okay.
But I would also find that very helpful. I'm not sure if it's maybe out there already.
I'm also observing this movement in the crypto space since I think 2 years now, but I haven't looked closer into it in the last half a year. Is there some more movements away from this Discord? What did you call it? Discord automated organization?
Discord administrated organizations. Honestly, I just quit because I was so annoyed of it. I deleted all my Discord servers. The spam and it's insane what happens on Discord. It's really insane. So the only servers that I have left is the EF1 for obvious reasons. Unfortunately, I think for example, all core dev servers, so the server where Ethereum developers from different clients, etc., coordinate, is also still on Discord. There have been numerous discussions. Why not move to Matrix or to other things? If you go to the forum there, I think there are a couple of posts about that, but nobody moved it yet. So I don't really see people moving away from it, except for privacy projects. So of course there are some nice projects. NIM is on Matrix. I think the Tornado Cash community is in Matrix. So everything that is more really around privacy, they know, and I think they have Matrix servers or communities at least.
One more question. Did you move chat history too? Or did you just bridge at some point and start getting the history from there?
I don't know. I think we only
backward?
bridged. I think we only bridged. But Jan is thinking.
So in the beginning we did some backfilling,
Yeah.
but I don't know if it was in the production server then.
Oh, but also about search. This is actually a good point. I think search really doesn't work well in Matrix. This is really a pain point.
Someone else? Okay, then thank you very much.
Thank you for listening.